At what point do you think like I'm gonna ask to get paid for this? If this is a paying client, like where does that conversation start? Like, so did you want to use a check or a card? Or it's like, I'm not paying you for that. And I wish this photo was zoomed out a little bit more, not only because it'd be less traumatizing. At what point do you not say like, man, this doesn't work? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So before we start this video, I just want to say if you're sensitive to disturbing images, you may want to click off this one right now, because what we're about to see is actually horrific. The other thing I want to say is thank you to everyone who has went through the link in the description and purchased some of the gear from Bunker Branding. So we got our Milwaukee hats, and then we also have our other gear. So we got the Come and Take It with the nail gun, and then finished Carpentry TV on the front there. And I also have Come and Take It hats as well. The link is in the top of the description if you guys want to check it out. I really appreciate it, and you'll get some cool gear as well. So thank you for that. So let's get into this, and we're going to be reviewing photos today, not videos. If you didn't catch the last reaction videos, I reacted already to peel and stick crown molding and do-it-yourself trim carpentry. It was actually called cover trim. I'll leave those in the description as well. Crazy stuff. But let's get into these carpentry photos. First photo we're going to look at is a baseboard install, a really bad transition. So let's pull it up. So what this person did, it looks like, and it's pretty obvious, is they said, hey, I need to bend this baseboard into this corner, so I can't bend this wood that I have. I'll just cut it into little slices and then do your best, caulk the rest. And that did not work here. I mean, technically, did you get it done? Yeah, but technically it looks horrible. So it's not a win. It's absolute garbage. If this was a paying client, they're gonna have to live with this every day. Every day they're gonna walk by and see this and just shake their head. If even this is the person who installed this, if this is their house, same exact scenario, you're gonna have to walk by this and look at this, and it's just not the solution. And I wish this photo was zoomed out a little bit more, not only because it'd be less traumatizing seeing all this up close, but I kind of want to see like the rest of that wall and what angle this is, because to me this looks like kind of a typical 45-degree angle where you could just split that in two, just two 22.5-degree miters, and kind of make that transition. But it's hard to say without seeing the context of what's going on this wall. But regardless of that, this is not the solution. This is horrific. I warned you guys. So this is obviously nowhere near high quality work. This is just like, hey, I know a guy that knows a guy who can run some trim for you, and this is what you end up with. And then what is the solution? Well, there's multiple solutions. If it's a paint grade product, which this one is, he could have got a flex profile that matched it, and then just had a piece of rubber flex molding to bend, cut to size, put in that corner. Because I imagine if there's a transition like this in the house and they're handling it this way, there's probably more than one. So you would have a lot of these little butcher areas going on. So get a piece of flex molding. That's going to solve this problem. So let's look at the next photo. So in this photo, we have crown molding used as base molding. I don't know, like even on that last one, like when you're cutting those slices, those 5 individual slices, and you're pushing them into that corner, at what point do you not say like, man, this doesn't work? Like, I don't get it. Like, how would you put that crown molding up against that base profile and think like, yeah, that'll do it? Like, where's the disconnect here? I don't get it. So I will give them this though. They did match the height of the molding. So their base is like a 3.5 probably. That crown's probably a 3.5. These are both moldings sold at the big box stores, and they come in that 3.5 inch height. But it's horrendous. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. Like, this right here just proves what everyone knows. When you take shortcuts and do things wrong, you make more work for yourself. Nobody's gonna walk by this and think that looks good. If you wanted to dress it up, which you gotta know when to abandon the ship, but if you're gonna ride this thing out, you're gonna have to caulk that whole top edge to fill in that gap. You're gonna have to caulk that bottom. You're gonna have to caulk the side of that where it kicks out near the base. It's horrible. They didn't even, like, it almost leaves me speechless. Just the crazy things that people do I don't know what's going through their mind, really. And the crazy thing is, I've actually seen this in real life. We walked into a house before we bought our current house. We were looking at other houses, and the house had this same exact crown profile as base everywhere. And it's like, how do you make that mistake? Like, how do you, like, they obviously, if you ordered that material, they sent you the wrong material. If you bought that material, why did you not look for a base? Why'd you continue installing crown? Now, that house that I looked at, I'll give them this. They did miter all the corners, like the outside corners and inside corners, but it's like you went through all that work to put new base in, and you put crown as base. Crazy. So, yeah, this is wrong on so many levels. Next photo. All right, so this one is really bad. So you've got, it looks like a 2x8 joist there, a framing member, and they needed to notch it for what appears to be like the dryer vent, and they notched like 90% of that board, and that makes it lose all structural integrity. It makes it prone to, it's a weak point now. It could easily crack. You could stand on that. You could probably just step on it and it's gonna split because it has no more rigidity to it. It's basically a twig now. It's like a perforated framing member. It's just waiting to crack. So we notch stuff all the time in carpentry, even framing. We notch framing, we move framing around if we have to. We adjust framing. We'll cut into it sometimes, but within reason. You know, you can't cut into something like this and take out almost the whole board. It basically should just finish that cut, because that little slice of wood is not really doing anything at this point. But I guess their argument would be, if you look at that top image, that they reinforced it with the can of great stuff. And I know great stuff is great stuff, but it's not that great. It's not gonna make this 2x6 or 2x8, whatever it is, that like regrow those wood fibers. It's not that great. So anyways, the takeaway from this one is, don't just destroy the framing to do your utility for your dryer or whatever, the exhaust. You know, what's the solution here? Well, maybe move that framing member. If that's not a possibility, maybe find another way to route this dryer vent, buy some more of that flexible metal hosing and just move it somewhere else. I don't know, but this right here is a total carpentry fail. So next photo. For our final image, this one is a doozy. This one is just wrong on so many levels. One of the worst things I've ever seen. This one is truly traumatizing. This is your last warning. Get out now. You do not want to see this image. Just save yourself the trauma. So let's pull it up. All right, this one here is, it's almost like that phrase when they say, like, you know, if criminals put all their effort into getting a job, you know, they wouldn't have to be criminals. You know, it's kind of like that same mentality. It's like, if you put all the effort that you put into this, which granted this looks bad like everything else we've looked at today, but all the little cuts and all the little, you know, trying to turn this and make it wrap around this little curved section, if you put that into just like finding out how to do it the right way, you could probably do it the right way. But I'm looking at this and I'm maybe, you know, I may be giving them too much credit, because even that 45 over there on the right hand side in that internal corner, then where it comes out to the external corner, even that's way off. So these are what we call hacks, guys. This is like, in carpentry we have like terms like hacks. That guy is a hack. Like, I always hear that word like hack. People think of it as like a good term, like life hacks and stuff, and I get where they're coming from. But in the carpentry world, hack never is a good thing. Like, it means like, think of a guy with an axe and he's just like hacking away. That's where that comes from. Also the word butcher. Like when you think of a meat butcher, they're not the most precise guys out there. They're usually like slicing up the cow and just like meat's flying everywhere. Those are derogatory terms. Like if someone comes on your job site and is like, man, this guy is kind of a hack, it's not a compliment. Or if they're like, this guy's a butcher, they're saying that you're bad. So I don't know. I almost feel like some of these pictures, someone just did it as like a goof and then took the picture, but I think these are real life pictures where someone actually said, hey, I can do that, and tried to do it. So this one right here, first thing I would do to solve this issue, I would not use that inferior material, that foam pre-finished junk. Just stay away from it. It's not good. Number two, it kind of relates to the first one. At least in this one, I can see the context of what's going on, and you actually would need a flex to go around that. But if they did want to use a stain grade like what they chose with this pre-finished stuff, then you would need to get that shaped on a bandsaw, maybe cut that shape out and then shape that on a shaper. But again, that appears to be way more work than this person is willing to do, because they kind of just hacked and butchered this thing together. Like all the other images that we looked at today, at what point do you think like I'm gonna ask to get paid for this? If this is a paying client, like where does that conversation start? Like, so did you want to use a check or a card? Or it's like, I'm not paying you for that. That's garbage, you know? And if it's your own house, I mean, I guess, well, there you go, but it doesn't change the fact that it's garbage. So I don't know, I have nothing else to say about these guys. If you have your own comments about these, leave them down below. Feel free to just roast these guys. I mean, this is just horrendous stuff. I warned you and I delivered on that warning. So that's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Let me know if you have any other images or videos you want me to react to. Send them to my email, richard@finishedcarpentry.tv, or just link them down in the comments below. Till next time, I'll catch you guys on the next video.